which is code for be very, very quick. And so, I'm here to say, I know I'm part of the 99, and I'm proud of each and every one of you. I am working hard every day for a city where everybody has an opportunity to succeed, where everybody has an opportunity to go to work and be treated with respect and dignity and be able to care for their families, and maybe not have to have 3 jobs to do that. Maybe be able to spend some time with your family. And so I stand here today to say, I stand with you, I appreciate you, I thank you. Together we will win. Organized people have never lost, and we will not lose now. Thank you.
What about Attica Prison? What about the unions in the prisons that have been suppressed? What happened to Attica? We forget Attica? No. Attica! We don't forget Attica. And they suppressed our unions inside, and they still got men in solitary confinement for union organizing. Let labor not forget. Let labor not forget. Men and women went to prison to get their unions. Attica! What do we want?
Does everybody show the solidarity with Verizon workers? We're going to violence is coming down. Let me hear you say union!
Oh, here comes
union! Union! Before we were organizations, we were a concept. United we stand, divided we fall. All you young people, we're fighting for your future too. So sing with us. Let me hear you say union! 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 Now let's bring it to Verizon.
We're waiting for Verizon. And in comes marching Vets for Peace. Big Vets for Peace march. Did I call you back? These are the guys that got beat up on Tuesday at 1:30 a.m.
They found one of those shirts that fits you, man? So what they saying, punch up here. I said, I already spent enough time with punch up here. I'm done with punch for one day.
So you're tuning into the FDL Livestream, and we're about to march to Verizon. There's a contingent of people here who have been trying to get a fair union contract with Verizon, and they're working on getting that fair contract. I'm with Scarecrow, and we're here covering Occupy Boston. That's what you're looking at. Over off in the distance here with the Vets for Peace flags and the rows of tents, this is Occupy Boston. And over here is the monstrosity that we call the Federal Reserve, towering over the encampment of Occupy Boston.
Hey, they got the best of one you can buy. That was Wall Street. Oh, boys. Free boy. I gotta go.
So this march should be stepping off shortly, and we'll be following it to Verizon, the closest branch of Verizon, I assume, nearby the Occupy Boston camp. There's a few police. Not really a huge police presence.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Along the way.
So we're here and just had a rally with a number of the unions that have passed resolutions in support of Occupy Boston, and they all stood up and had leaders share messages of solidarity with Occupy Boston. And then a march of the Vets for Peace activists came in.
Can you interview the lady who spoke to the library?
Sure. What?
Short hair right there. She said yes.
Where is she?
She's right there, short hair on her side.
Oh, her. Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. So, nice to meet you. So, we've been following the action with Occupy Wall Street since day one, and now I've been going around to all the occupations, and I've seen Occupy Philly and DC, and I guess, you know, I heard your speech, and a lot of other people were able to see you talk, so I guess can you re-say why you're in solidarity with Occupy Boston?
Absolutely. I think it's so important that unions support a movement like this because we're actually fighting for the same things. They're fighting for basic American values out here: a fair economy, justice, the democracy, and it's the same things unions stand for. And it's important that they know that the public knows that we are a part of this 99% together. And I think unions need to do a better job of letting folks know what we really truly stand for.
Yeah, and isn't it, I noticed this from some of the unions that were supporting the Wall Street protesters, isn't it true that, this has given you guys a really big opportunity in that, I noticed that a lot of headway had been made when Wisconsin was exploding, but that died down, and it was kind of like, what do you do next?
That's right. No, I think this is a much-needed shot of adrenaline. I'm inspired. I was out here this morning walking around just talking to people, and this is inspiring for us. It reminds us of why we're here and what we're fighting for every day. And the fights are going on, though, even after Wisconsin. I know my union's fighting in Ohio right now. We're fighting all over the country, and we're not just fighting for jobs. We're fighting to stop these voter suppression laws that are going on out there. So that's something we have in common. So we're fighting on all these things, which are basically fighting for fairness and for our democracy. So I agree with you. This is an inspiration. This builds the energy. It keeps the movement going. And I think that's why some folks want to try to shut it down.
Now, what do you think about the idea of having an encampment here? I guess one of the things that's been fascinating to me is how these young people have created this huge space where people can come together and really dig into these issues that we need to address.
I'm so impressed. I think it's amazing. This is better organized than some of the organizations that I deal with every day. These folks are organized, they're disciplined, they know what they're doing, they're caring for each other, and to be honest with you, they're demonstrating what our society should be about, which is community, coming together, taking care of each other, and having intelligent discussion about the issues. It's everything good that our country stands for, so I'm impressed.
All right, thank you for talking.
Thanks very much.
Good luck to you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah?
We'll do this guy right here. Huh? He said he'd do it if
Sure,
you want to do
sure.
that. Okay.
Hey, my name's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Nice to meet you. All right, so could you introduce yourself? And
Sure. Steve Kirschbaum. I'm with the United Steelworkers Local 8751, represent Boston school bus drivers and monitors, the International Action Center, and participants in this Occupy Boston movement.
And so why is it so important to support the young people or even the older people who are camping out here for Occupy Boston?
Well, we think that Occupy Boston represents an opportunity to point the finger of blame where it belongs. This is corporate America. This is Wall Street. This is what capitalism looks like. And if we wish to be able to redress all of our grievances, whether it's the closing of our schools, the cutbacks to our jobs, the fact that our children don't have a future because there are no jobs out there for them after they've honed their skills through college, we have got to say no more. Those policymakers who have hijacked this government in the interest of corporate capitalist big business have got to be served notice that we are not going to take it anymore. We will stand out here and occupy Boston, occupy Wall Street, occupy 400 and some odd cities throughout the country and said it's a new day. We are fired up. We're not going to take it anymore. And they say it's class war. Well, now we're fighting back, and that's what a war looks like.
Yeah, what do you think about really changing the narrative? I mean, usually the right likes to hammer home this tax and spend crap about how, you can't really have social services, but it seems like we've changed it here with the 99%. I mean, it seems like that's like a major victory for us to be talking about all of us needing these new things that have been under attack.
Well, in every media, and let's face it, it's a corporate media. In this country, it's the best press money can buy, and that's what it is. In this country, we have changed the national debate, and the national debate now is those who are fighting for a future, the future of our unions, the future of our children, the future of our planet, because these people are toxically poisoning our planet right now. And it's not just the U.S., because their ugly tentacles go everywhere throughout the globe. Our union's going to be marching on Saturday against the wars, where billions are being spent, billions in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Colombia. Those monies need to be spent on human needs right here at home. And so I would say that our interests are the same interests as all of these folks out here. And it's not a percentage question. This ain't math. This is about who controls this society. And for too long, it has been corporate America that has been perpetrating the worst criminal conduct on all of us. We band together, we unite together. In the labor movement, we call it solidarity. We always say an injury to one is an injury to all, but a victory for one will be a victory for all. That's why today we're about to march on one of the foundations of U.S. capitalism, Verizon, who paid no taxes last year and got a $2.3 billion rebate. Yet they want to take away pension rights for Verizon workers. They want to take away what workers have fought 40 years for. Well, we're going to be marching on Verizon Wireless to tell them, hell no, we won't allow it.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Fire Dog, check this out.
Hello, everyone.
Just in time. All right, we're going to be marching here on Verizon. We'll be following the march.
So we're going to start the
Hey everybody, we're going to start the march in solidarity with the Verizon workers and to show that we still have the right to march in the city of Boston. So we're going to head up this pathway, we're going to go to the corner, we're going to go up Summer Street, but when we get to the corner up here, everybody just stay there until we kick off the march. Thanks everybody. Hello everyone, this is part of the Free School University, where university professors come and educate us about what's going on. We're hosting the Howard Zinn Memorial Lectures, we're calling it. We have a series of lectures and flyers going around, and Joe here's going to introduce the first speaker. Thank you. How many people here have heard Howard Zinn? Howard Zinn, People's History of the United States, right? We're going to pick 5 books to give people, change their mind, change the world the way they see it. That's one of my books I would give to somebody. Howard Zinn is a lifelong activist, scholar, who told history from the perspective of the common people, the people who fought for change, who fought against injustice, not from the perspective of the elite, from the owners, from the bosses, from the generals, from the statesmen, but from the standpoint of people in unions, from the standpoint of workers, from the standpoint of farmers, students, people standing up for their rights. He was also a historian who said, quote, "You can't be neutral on a moving train." He said he would be here with us today if he hadn't passed away. He would be here with us today, and in fact I think his spirit is here today. Now, today what we have is the first of a series of Howard Zinn lectures that we're doing here at Occupy Boston. I am pleased to have with us in body, mind, and spirit Professor Victor Wallace, liberal arts professor at Berklee College of Music, editor of the journal Socialism and Democracy, which you can find at sdonline.org, sdonline.org. He's a great personal friend of mine, has been my editor, he is my neighbor, he is a great intellectual for helping to explain the fundamental nature of this capitalist crisis that we are in. I'm going as quickly as I can, and I'm going to turn it over to him right now. So please, if you could warmly welcome, to help us bring a little understanding as well as some emotion to this brilliant day, Victor Wallace.
I hope I can live up to that marvelous introduction. It's an enormous honor to be here.
It's a marching with the union.
I had the opportunity to host this at my institution on 2 different occasions, and it's a terrific example for all of us. So I hope you all read this. John, right?
Jobs not cuts campaign.
Back in the 80s,
Jobs not
I was
cuts
a young
campaign.
kid from left. And he was a Reagan Democrat. He was on the fundamental problem.
There was also resentment.
They've seen a lot of things come and go over the years.
Learned behavior. Yeah, it's good people on learning.
Didn't you find that all wisdom is not necessarily contained in the United States?
Very good, yeah! Thank you.
Hold still. Hold back. Hold still. We don't want to hold them.
So this is FDL's live stream from Occupy Boston. Thanks for joining. I'm Kevin Gostola, the dissenter, and this is a march to Verizon. They're going to be showing solidarity with the workers who have been fighting for a fair union contract with Verizon, and also exercising their right to peaceably assemble and march in the city of Boston, which is essential to assert these days as civil liberties are increasingly under assault. It's always healthy to go out in the streets and make sure you still have the freedoms to do the things that you believe you have the right to do in this country. It's a pretty cloudy day here in Occupy Boston, and not the greatest weather. It certainly feels a lot more like October. That legal observer here, in case anything would happen. Jobs with Justice, United Steelworkers of America, AFL-CIO, Vets for Peace. We've got the AFT chapter in Boston or in Massachusetts, and looks like we're going to have a few hundred people marching to a branch of Verizon. Thanks for tuning in. It's kind of curious to know what's going on with Occupy Wall Street. I know that as we prepare to step off, the people of Occupy Wall Street are facing a possible end to their camp, and they are wondering what to do to get the city to not force a cleaning on them that might lead them to have to disperse. Here in Boston, it does not seem like there's anything that would happen where they would have to pick up and leave. It seems pretty calm, and I haven't seen any adversarial reactions to the encampment yet. And it appears the police, despite what happened at Tuesday on Tuesday at 1:30, are going to accommodate this camp. They're getting set here, and will be marching shortly. This is the Boston Public Market is down here today. Farmers market set up around the encampment, and had to make space for the market to come in this morning. Looks like there might have been barricades that went up, and they moved their tents so that they could fit the market in.
No. Everybody was fine. Fine. Yeah, it was good. No, you did good. I like this banner.
Uh-oh!
I want to run for a year and a half. Elizabeth Warren, Elizabeth, and
Yeah.
Thanks all time. Guys, brothers and sisters, thank you so much. We're going to march up to one of the greatest corporations here in Boston and certainly throughout the country here in a few minutes. I ask you to kind of gather here, get to know each other, and we're going to leave out here in about 5 or 10 minutes. We got telephone workers from all over the city of Boston. We're still without a contract. We need your help. We took our fight to the street, just like Occupy Boston took all of our fight to the street. We're going to make some noise. We're going to stand together. We'll win this fight at Verizon. We'll win this fight against corporate greed. Hang in there, guys. We're going to get going in a few minutes and march up to Verizon Wireless. Thank you.
Those are the pipes I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Where the hell's the truck with all your backup music?
I know. That's what we need.
Well, that Dropkick Murphy shit that you had in the back.
All right, what do you like?
Well, wait. I got my big
All right, guys, I need your help. Listen, we saw this start in Madison, Wisconsin during the winter. We saw Verizon over the summer. Yeah! And now we see this fight against corporate greed right now. And we sent the message, starting in Wisconsin early this year, that this is what democracy looks like. Yeah! So I need your help. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. All right, guys, here we go now. What's disgusting? Union busting! What's disgusting? Union busting! What's disgusting? Union busting! Brothers in the back, what's disgusting? Union busting! What's disgusting? Union busting! Those who are now Occupy Boston, get those fists in the air! Fists in the air! Get those fists up! Tell me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Tell me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Tell me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! You guys ready to march against corporate greed? Yeah!
This is what... I'm always late. This is...
All right, listen up! Here we go, we got our black campaign off the bus ride and still with us right here. All right, we're going to march in this way. Hey, Verizon, we say no! Union busting's got to go! Hey, Verizon, we say no! Union busting's got to go! Hey, Verizon, we say no! Union busting's got to go! Come here, say union! 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 Hey, Verizon, we say no! Union busting's got to go! Hey, Verizon, we say no! Union busting's got to go! Hey, Verizon, we say no! Union busting's got to go! Hey, Verizon, we say no! Hey, Verizon's got to go!
Oh, I just had one right. Ha! Go figure.
Hey, I don't know if you guys realize it yet, but we got a hell of a lot of young people in the crowd.
Thank you.
Young people.
Officer, he said no.
From Egypt to Madison,
I'm from
to Wall Street to Boston, young people are leading the fight against corporate greed. Make some noise.
and up Washington Street. We're going to stop the Verizon Wireless. We're going to tell them what we think of their corporate greed. We're going to demand a contract for my brothers and sisters in the IBW and CWA. And we're going to use to win this fight against corporate greed throughout the country.
Hey, you figure out what Jane wanted? She just called me. I couldn't hear her because the guy was on the megaphone.
99%! We are the 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 99%!
So this is the march to Verizon.
We are the 99%! So are you!
Get out of the way, man! Get out of the way!
We're good. What did she want? I thought there was a glitch, but there's no problem. No, who's the Bank of America, Brian? They're pretty spread out. There's about maybe 200 to 300 but they're stretched out for about 3 or 4 blocks, which is why it looks like absolutely nobody is marching right now. Right here. We're getting a worse signal than when we were at the rally, so if you're losing the feed and it's going in and out, just bear with it. I'm going to keep streaming, so reload and come back and see if you can get it to work better. We're moving here with the march, so our signal is going to change. You're tuning into the Fire Dog Lake live stream from Occupy Boston. Let's see, let's do a roll call as we're marching. We were in Occupy DC. We were at Occupy Philly. Then we hit the mothership, Occupy Wall Street. And now we're here at Occupy Boston. And we're seeing all the union support that the young people have been able to get for their courageous action to set up a camp. They're right across from the major monstrosity that is the Boston Federal Reserve, towering over them. Passing through the crowd here, so bear with me.
like. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Shame on Verizon. 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 Shame on Verizon! Shame on Verizon!
Busting's got to go! I got it! Contract now! 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 Union! 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 Holy Jesus, look at this! You guys just closed downtown crossing! As we continue to march peacefully through these streets, remember, you don't need a leader. Don't listen to them that you're a leaderless path. You guys are led by what's in here. You're led by your hearts. You're led by your moral compass. You're not led by the dollar like this greedy corporation behind me. Make some noise. Thank you so much for all of our brothers and sisters in the labor movement, for Occupy Boston, for the 99%. Together. We are the 99%! We are the 99%! We are our membership to the street. We took him to the street. He's going to lead us to a contract from the IBW Local 2222. Please welcome businessman and
Thank all of you, and thank everybody who said this is how labor and the communities are going to succeed, by merging together. This isn't about labor, this is about everyone. America wants to work. Currently, Verizon workers are fighting a corporation that's going to announce in the next 72 hours a $2 billion profit in just this quarter. Well, they continue to send jobs offshore while we have the largest unemployment in this country.
Work for Verizon!
We can't allow this. We need Americans to work. We need a corporate giant like Verizon to put Americans to work. This is unacceptable, and we got to change it. The spark has begun with Occupy Boston. I thank all of you, and we will succeed. Thank you all very much. Brothers and sisters, and all of you that joined us from Occupy Boston, our fight is one fight. Before our unions were organizations, we were concepts, and that is united we stand, divided we fall. So let me hear you say, union! 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 We gotta take corporations like Verizon a lesson. We say in the labor movement that an injury to one is an injury to all. But a victory for one will be a victory for all. Our union, Steelworkers Local 8751, have walked with these sisters and brothers since 1989 when they heroically struck for nearly 17 weeks. We walked the lines with them. We shed blood with them. We got arrested with them. And that's what it's going to take today. All of us together. We make this commitment. We will not rest until there is a fair contract at Verizon and these brothers and sisters from our
Union! Get down the street now! Get your fingers in the air, because we are one! 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 We are one!
So thanks to the 12 viewers that are watching the live stream. That was the action in front of the Verizon branch, taking a stand and letting Verizon know that these workers want a fair union contract. And I expect that Occupy Boston may be revisiting that location on behalf of the unions that are supporting them in the coming days. This is the march. I suspect that we're headed back to the camp. Everything's been really peaceful. Police were cooperative. Doesn't seem to be any protesters here that are creating any problems. There's no direct actions planned. This is really just classic show of people power, and a really heartening one. I appreciate the words there in front of Verizon that you don't need a leader, you have a heart, and it's much better for guiding the people of Occupy Boston and any other occupation. It's better that hearts are greeting people, are leading people, and it's a good thing that money isn't leading these people. March for a few more minutes, and then we'll wrap up the live stream and be back later on this evening for some interviewers from the occupation. Contingent of Vets for Peace, and when they showed up at the Occupy Boston camp, they were greeted with cheers, because these are the people who stood in between the protesters and police when they were dispersed from Camp 2 at 1:30 a.m. on Tuesday. So much of the people, many of the people in the camp have great respect. And they're here showing solidarity with the unions. The unions are here showing solidarity with the young people. And the young people here in Boston are really seen as leading the way. Lots of media. It's like all the affiliates came down to cover this rally in action. It'll probably be on the 5 o'clock news here in Boston. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching, it's the Fire Dog Lake live stream from Occupy Boston. I took a break from Occupy Wall Street to come visit and see what these fine young people are doing. It's very inspiring. Probably got about 30 to 50 tents that they've managed to set up. We'll have more images of the camp streaming, but we broadcast from the camp earlier when there was a union rally at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And now this is the action that's ending. We were in front of Verizon, and there's a group of workers here that have been asking for a fair union contract, and as they say, the corporate greed of Verizon has gotten in the way of any such fair union contract. And we are headed back to the camp. a bit blurry here as we march. Apologize for that. Keeping it as steady as possible. This is a show of union support for Occupy Boston, along with the march to show Verizon that the workers here demand a fair union contract. Probably about 200 to 400 people are marching. It's a good evening march here. And for those of you interested, the police presence is really minimal. Very cooperative. They let everyone gather and block off the street in front of Verizon, hold an action. Lasted about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, if you don't want to get dizzy, look away for a moment. I'm going to try to get to the front of the march, so it's probably going to be a bit blurry. All right, and I'm at the front of the march, so the front of the march here. We have the clear to cross. Oh, here they come. And we're coming back into the encampment. And with that, I'm going to wrap up the live stream. We've been going for about an hour. Thank you for tuning in. This is Firedog Lake. This was a live stream of the afternoon, evening action, March to Verizon. We'll be back this evening to get some interviews with the occupiers and take a closer look at the camp and what young people have set up here down in front, right across from the Boston Federal Reserve. That's the building right there. And it towers right over the camp. And there's more police now. They've blocked off some areas of the street. It looks like it's rush hour. And everybody's coming back into the camp. And thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tonight around 7:30 and get some interviews from the camp. Thank you.